Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Harry Potter campaign, Act 2, Session 3 vlog. All right.
Uh, I I I loved you, but after
Yeah,
today, I loved you more. It's so good, so good.
she's into it though. So like the thing that I mainly got from like the way you were describing her character, I kind of me personally, I kind of like that I was able to fit in, even though it wasn't much, like able to fit in that little bit about like, oh, you're more than magical to me. And I kind of like hope that sort of nicely completes her little arc.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that, and I like that. I it's kind of funny that Nail is the more expressive, excitable sister, and then Anira is a bit more reserved, and I think it totally makes sense. I really like her.
It does. It does make sense because I think Anira always grew up kind of being pushed to the side, especially
Yeah.
after Naila was born. So I think it makes sense for her to be more reserved. And interestingly enough, she can be fully herself, more around Vienna, even more than Naila.
Oh
I
yeah.
think.
So I think there's still like challenges like between her and Naila because there's that little pang of jealousy, So
Mhm.
like I totally get
Yeah.
that.
And that never fully goes away, I think.
Mm,
But
yeah.
she does love Naila very, very much, and if like she will always try to support her, and she'll always be very protective, of course. But if but like there's always that little part of her that wishes she could do the same things that Naila does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's scary, dude. She's so scary.
She's scary.
It's like,
I,
ooh.
I want to apologize. I actually like love the chemistry aspects. So whenever that really bad line came out, like I was more so trying to get away to like how could we feature that, and it came out totally wrong. And I blame that on having to be Chessa, not Albion. But I think her chemistry thing is really cool because I was, and I say was because it was like 15 years ago. I was really into chemistry in high school. So I was trying to get that out. So I apologize for that line. I don't know where it came from.
What are you good at?
It's kind of funny though. Like,
It sounded so much better in my head because I was like, oh, like I want her to feel part of it because of the chemistry thing, and I want to see some of that in action. And then I was like, are you good at anything? And I was like, that's horrible.
are you actually going to be able to help?
Are you actually useful? Non-magic girl?
Hey, loser! Are you gonna pull your weight?
Can you do anything?
Yeah, and my fiance explained that whole forgiveness thing to me, which I found very, very interesting. And I said,
It's very interesting.
and I was like, yeah, it's not enough to just pray and say, God, please forgive me. You have to do whatever it takes to make the other person forgive you too. And if that doesn't happen,
Yeah, no, just like with the AJ said, she basically said, "Go to hell."
So you gotta work for that shit, Juan, or things about to get toasty.
Before we go further, I want to just say something real quick, and I wanted to say that I never intended nor wanted to beat a dead horse with the breakup with Naila. Me inviting Roma, my intention was not to continue beating on the horse because Clef is wonderful in that he allowed himself to put this character in a very real situation because not everybody is good with relationships, and sometimes breakups can be very messy. And people who are watching hopefully understands that Juan, the character, is different from Clef, the player, first of all. And I love that Clef was willing to put himself out there in a position that I'm sure a lot of people have very strong emotions and feelings over, but it's just a story. It's just a game, and I applaud. I really want to tell Clef I appreciate your patience and being willing to take some of the things that his character has been taking, because I feel like it got a little bit excessive. Not by anyone's fault, because I didn't want to draw it out more than it needed to. So I just wanted to say thank you, Clef, for being a good sport. of all of this, and I don't think we need to continue beating the dead horse, and we can move on. Naila and Juan, I think, can move on.
Like we goof on you a lot, Clef, but I wouldn't change anything about Juan. I think he's one of the most interesting aspects of this campaign because he's genuinely unpredictable and has like goes through really real shit. And I've met people like Juan, so it's like he's brilliant, and I genuinely love him as a character. And if this was a TV show, I'd be like, I wonder what Juan's gonna do today. Like he keeps that shit spicy. So
No, I do want to say I love Clef. I think he's very talented.
yes,
Thank
like,
you.
Yes.
you've played him so perfectly, like
Mhm.
genuinely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's actually no problem. I completely understand, and it's one of the reasons I like role playing so much. You are not your character,
Mhm.
and you can put distance between you yourself and your character.
Mhm.
And in some aspects, obviously, I think that everyone puts a little bit of themselves in every character they make.
Mhm.
I think it's impossible not to. But yeah, no, it's actually going pretty well, and it's really fun playing. Yeah, Brandon is Levi.
Brandon, you are.
Everyone, you haven't hang out with Brandon out of camera as much as I have. He is Levi.
He's very patriotic.
You think you hung out?
USA, USA.
I spent every day with Brandon.
I'm not Levi, but thank you. I like
I-
Levi, so
I've spent a bit of time with Brandon and Jordan recently. So
Yeah, so we spent a lot of time together, guys. So like,
So now,
oh,
what are your thoughts on this session today?
Come
There's a
poor
lot of
on.
things-
Toby.
That was so unfair. Like, poor Toby.
Yeah.
Toby.
Poor Toby.
How does that happen? The odds of that are
That's why
so
we don't
low.
go playing with Obliviate rocks.
This was Rock's idea to
You're the one
obliviate.
that-
What Roxy wanted obliviated was much more serious than what Juan wanted obliviated.
Oh,
Yeah, Toby was just trying to obliviate the truth of knowing Juan didn't get obliviated, and it cost him his mind. He's good. Hark, do you know how you're gonna play it now? Is he crazy, or does he just forget everything? Or
I need time to think. So
okay,
part of the reason why I ended it there is because I wanted to think about what the critical fail means for Toby.
I totally think he's gonna go crazy because that's what happened to try and test the parents.
yeah,
That's what.
yeah.
Juan,
That's
your ass
insane.
is your ass, bro.
Al was ready to like start trying to make connections in the Muggle world, and then by the end of the session, he knows the mass killing curse. Like, where the fuck did this all?
You know what?
That's
When I
funny.
heard AJ saying the memory thing, I was like, oh, perfect. Now Juan, if they tell Juan, now Juan will erase his mind because he trusts more in Al than himself. But because you just didn't told him, he was like, okay, I have to do this.
I wish that I was there to give my suggestion, because my suggestion was you guys should do modify memory and not obliviate, because modify memory you could do the legitimacy spell and re-see that instead of
I didn't
obliviate.
think
Yeah,
Oh.
so I wish I was there.
It's done now.
To be-
You are smart.
To be fair to Juan, he wasn't trying to keep it from Juan. He wouldn't have told Roxy, but she followed him. He was just going to sneak out and do it on his own as a precaution. But Roxy followed him, so that's when he told Rox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you would have told Juan, Juan would have gone, yeah, no, erase my memory. I trust AJ.
Oh.
Because-
Sorry,
yeah.
I trust AJ. I trust Al. But come on.
I know, because in my mind, right, Roxy like kind of got to that point where it was like, I'm emotionally detached from everything because this is literally my worst nightmare. So like she goes through that, shock wears off, she starts to really think about everything that happened, and then she's like, I can't deal, get rid of all of it. So when she comes out of the spell, she's like happy as Larry. She didn't remember shit. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, well,
That's the
she's
part I
back
didn't
to-
understand.
but now Toby's gonna go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
So we're gonna,
Or who knows how, but maybe Hark is a merciful god and something not so bad will happen.
I
But I
love
don't
him.
know. Hark,
and this is
have we ever
so
told
bad.
you how great you are and how much
are
we all
great,
love you?
I love you so
Yes.
much. We already lost Levi.
I was happy I got to play him 2 times
The-
this session. That
the-
was really fun.
The
was a
worst
lot of
part is the war was over. Toby
Yeah,
survived the war.
ended.
It ended. He survived the war, but no. Ugh.
Yeah, that
Okay, we'll come back to this later, but I want to ask. You said that if the war wouldn't have ended so quickly, Finn and other characters would have died. Who else would have died?
Yes, so it would have been based on that that vote, that survey. So I believe the next person. Well, I'm trying to see who is the next person over.
my guess was Tritessa.
Yeah, I'm looking to try Tessa.
I think it's Tritessa. It went not that people don't like Tritessa, I just feel like
Right.
she didn't get as much love
As
as
many-
at the time.
So
Yeah,
it
Trying to
looks
think
like
people probably got it.
yeah, Tritessa would have died,
I knew it.
followed by Naila.
Ooh.
And the
Ooh.
next person after Naila is Aika.
Ooh.
I would not have been okay with that.
I
Why
still
don't
feel like Rox got off the easiest, but it's whatever. It's okay.
Still horrific. Like, here's the thing, right? Because like Hawk ominously was like, there's other ways to break a character, and I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Go through the whole session, and as soon as he was like, these random characters are at your door that you don't talk too much, I was like, oh, I get it. This is the thing. So originally I was like, these motherfuckers are gonna conscript me, and I'm gonna say no to that. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. That ain't what
Yeah.
happened.
How did this got? Wow. I mean, I was thinking about that. Al wanted to. We were the ones who were supposed to be killing people were Levi and me. Al was going to take the democratic approach. He was going to try to talk with everyone, and now he's going to missions to kill soldiers with me and Roxana.
I guess that's
So
what
far-
happens when you lose 3 friends in one day.
Yeah,
So
you just start blowing people up with spells.
So far,
Yeah.
if you actually look back at it, Roxana and Albion have the highest body count. So
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think Albion would have been so quick to do it if his 3 friends had not died. I think when the war got
because
real,
the war killed 3 of his 3 best friends, one after the other.
yeah, and
I had
Finn is
said some-
out. Finn is out doing who knows what right now, and he would have died if the war didn't end as
Yeah.
soon as it did.
yeah. So
I had
I
to.
kind of, sorry.
Nope, you go ahead.
I kind of wanted to like quickly point out because some of us might have forgotten, but I've kept this shit in the back of my head. So if you guys remember, after Act 1 ended, we were all kind of like in a call with the spin-off cast, and I was like, hey, you know, it'd be fun if we did readings for our character, like what's going to happen in Act 2. So if you remember, Albion's said there was going to be a lot of death for him.
Oh.
Yep.
Levi's predicted children.
Got it after I died.
I can't actually remember what Juan's was. Clef, do you remember?
It was change or something like that. Change.
Change.
It was. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
gonna have
they-
change in his life.
It was going to be a drastic change, a drastic shift in his life. And Roxana's is the most uncanny because Roxana's was always like, you are going to wash your hands of the situation until eventually it arrives at your door. And you will have to
It
be involved. Like, no
literally
matter
did.
how hard you try, you will have to get involved. And not only did my reading say that, Kendra's reading said that. It was all about and today I forgot to tell you guys, today I did a reading for her after I did the one for Luke. I did one for Roxana as we were talking, and it said it's not gonna it was something like, you're not gonna know what's right, but trust your instincts. And I was like, now that it's all fitting together, I'm like, this shit uncanny. So like
Crazy.
it was completely correct. And it was honestly like the way I wanted her arc to go, where it's like, you know, no matter how hard you try to run, you will never run far enough. And eventually you have to make a decision. And she tried so hard to rid herself of this. It's like, it's one thing I want to stress upon is that nobody in this situation made the right decision.
There
No, and
was no right decision.
I think the only
There's
one
not.
who did make the right decisions, or like was the most morally good, was Albion, because Albion was a neutral, but Albion also tried to get everyone to sit down and talk. Levi chose a side, Juan chose a side, and Roxana chose not to get involved at all. And her not getting involved, and this is something me and Brendan spoke about as well, her not getting involved, not intentionally. I know he was probably going to die anyway, but in this situation, the way it panned out, Nico being killed, I believe, is a butterfly effect from how she addressed the situation. Because I don't know if it is necessarily, but like the way I interpreted it was she said to both of them, no, I'm not getting involved. You're getting out of my bar before now. She should have known something wasn't right because he looked rough. She should have gone through his bags, known he wasn't in his right mind. He was addicted to drugs. And the fact that she told him he had to be gone by morning, who knows what could have played on his mind. He was probably like, I should probably just leave early. And in the end, look at what happened to him. So her not getting involved has cost so much in reality. Like in the end, the situation just got worse and worse and worse. And there was no way she was going to run from it forever. It was incredibly immature. And I think to a certain degree, despite being understandable, was selfish. Because
I agree. She's selfish.
Roxana is incredibly selfish.
I'm just kidding.
But she is. Like that's staple. Is selfishness. And like in the end, she didn't even have the guts to deal with it, to actually wear the consequences of her actions. She is still trying to wash her hands of the situation by going like, I just want to forget it because I just can't deal. And
Yeah.
like,
I wanted to go back to something that was said. When it was Al was talking to Rox, he said, I don't trust Juan with the spell. Once he had told him that she had figured it out. And it was funny because I had brought up the point in the chat. I was like, Juan is actually the only person who hasn't hurt anybody. Like,
yeah,
he's turned them into frogs, rabbits, and snails, but he's the only one out of all of us who hasn't hurt a person.
Mm-hmm.
out of anyone,
even Albion did.
Albion
Yeah.
even accidentally killed someone by throwing a tree up in front of the car. Rox did the killing curse. Levi was breaking hands and shooting people. So
yeah, like Levi had a really great point where Roxana kind of was like, I was scared. Like, this is how I'm justifying it. I'm scared. And he was like, but you have to mean it. You have to mean it.
That was a moment I was actually going to have with Luke and Rox when eventually they ever talk. He was going to be like, so how was it, doing a curse? And I already knew from the previous session you were saying like, oh, I didn't mean to, it was an accident. So I was hoping you would say that again with Luke and he'd be like, no, that can't be true. You have to mean that curse. You have to want to do it. But Levi was there, so I just did it with Levi. So,
again, her washing her hands of the situation, going like, it was an accident.
Yeah, but it's not. You have to.
It's not.
You have to want to kill with that. It's not like a gun, like you got scared, accidentally pulled a trigger. Like a gun could be an accident. Doing that curse can't be an accident. You have to want to kill somebody.
Yeah. Like, it's like he got her then, and she was like, and that's like when, like, I think that's what led into her when she talked to Albion, the fact that Levi said that, because I don't think she would have ever said this to Albion if Levi hadn't called her out on that, is when she was like, I've tried to justify it over and over in my head, and I nearly did it. But the fact is, I wanted to kill someone, and I did. And she kind of like went off the same wavelength as you did, where she was like, you know, Juan is reckless, but he never killed anybody. Like
Now he's killed a lot of people, but at the time,
out of everyone, Roxana is the most untrustworthy with it, and I still believe that. Even if she's like, here's the thing I had in my head until I was like, oh, I should suggest Obliviate. Big regrets now. But like,
yeah, I don't really.
Before I suggested
I
I
know.
was totally like, Roxana's definitely going to use that spell again. Like, come on, she didn't have the self-control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking that because we already took the oath, and
Yeah,
that we can't really do anything with the spell except using it again.
and
if
it's
we trust each other, it should be.
Well, see, but the oath, the reason I think Al, it's not that he didn't trust Juan, he didn't trust Juan's judgment, because he knew Juan couldn't just use it just because he wanted to. Like, he wasn't worried about that. He thinks Juan has a good heart and a good motive, but I think Al is scared of Juan's impulsivity. And, you know, it wouldn't be breaking the vow if Juan truly thinks me using this is the best thing. Like, I think it's just that Al doesn't always trust Juan's judgment. He likes him as a person. He trusts him as a friend.
I completely get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
and I think I still believe, though, even though that could be a risk, the most untrustworthy, like I said, would be Roxy, because if she had kept the knowledge of that spell, she would have used it again. There's no doubt in my mind. It would have been used again.
Yeah, I don't actually see Juan using the spell again. He doesn't. Well, I know, and I said it. Juan really is obsessed with power, because with power he can, if he feels powerful, he feels that he can defend whatever he cares about. And at this point, he already lost family, you know.
Yeah, that too.
So, but this doesn't make him feel powerful. Being able to kill people doesn't make him feel powerful. He didn't kept this knowledge because he thought, yeah, with this I am invincible. He decided to keep it because he's still afraid that something bad can happen. Things are not dandy now that the war is over, and the spell might be useful again.
And that's kind of like, it's funny because for me, with Roxy, it's definitely opposite. But it's a bit more like complicated with that, where she's not like, oh, I love the feeling of this, because she doesn't. But the thing is, she knows it's very quick and very easy solution. Because like, that's one thing she said. It was like, it was so easy to do it. I can just do it. So like, if she's in a rut and she panics, of course she's gonna do it. She didn't have the self-control to quickly, or like the wits and resolve to like quickly think up of something that's going to be an alternative measure. She's always going to choose the quickest solution. And like, so it's good that she doesn't remember it. I think it's good that the other two have a copy of it, because I do, as much as it sucks, I think it's good they keep this shit in their back pocket, because who knows what's going to happen. But like, it's good that she doesn't remember it.
And they only, like, even they don't know about each other. I think that's interesting that Juan and Al both have it, but don't know the other has it.
I wonder if they're ever
interesting.
out there.
Well, and I need to figure out, like, obviously Al isn't going to know he has it, but he'll find the memory. So he may, out of curiosity...
I think that by the way you phrased it, I think you don't remember how to do it, but you do remember that you have how to do it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I pictured it too. Like, you don't remember how to do it, but you remember you have
the instructions at hand.
Correct. Right.
Okay.
You didn't memorize the instructions. Your memories.
Yeah, it's in a bottle. You put that up, man. It's freaking the next Voldemort's gonna find that, and we're gonna be in big trouble.
Sell it on eBay.
Like, that can happen. Someone can steal your memory, and they can see it, and they can learn the spell. But that would kill Al.
No, because I don't think he taught them. The thing is, he has to teach them.
He has to actually
will
willfully.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think that's more dangerous. When when AJ said that, I was like, oh yeah, that's a very good idea. But now I'm like, that's
The
very
only safe
dangerous.
the only safe solution is obliviating it, because even you, Juan, even you,
Yeah, no,
if
yeah.
somebody has that
Legitimacy.
legitimacy spell, they could just use it on you, and now they know exactly how to do it.
Or someone could just imperious you into telling them.
Mhm.
Or truth.
Yeah, then
I
you
would
would
die,
die
no?
because, but then you would
Actually, I
die.
wouldn't.
Like,
One
Would
thing,
that?
would I?
I don't know if
Would
that
I
would
be?
kill you.
I
Would
think
I
you have to
be
be
able
willing.
to?
I feel like you
Yeah,
have to be willing.
willingly.
Would I be able to teach them all the spell, or would I die while I'm teaching it?
It was between you three, so you
No, no, no.
guys.
I know, but
Oh,
if
When does the
if
death
I
kick
decide to teach someone and I start doing it, do I die while I'm doing it, or will I die
no,
after I teach it?
because he did the thing before she even taught you guys. So if that's how it was, Rox would have died. Because he did the charm with Levi there. Or
from what I
Right.
the
it's like you
promise.
can't teach anyone outside of the vow.
Right outside of the vow.
Yeah.
I think is how
Yeah.
they specified it.
Okay.
As Roxanne is really stupid.
So to answer your question, to answer Clef's question, I would say that you would have to finish teaching somebody before you died. So you would have to finish it. So if the person never actually learns it, you could probably still get away with.
Figure out the rest for yourself.
Figure out the rest for yourself. I did half the math.
And I imagine like they drop dead. It's just like
Yeah.
Maybe we can teach Luke like you teach 1/3, you teach 1/3, I teach 1/3. No one teach him anything.
That
but
could be
he
a
knew it.
loophole. That could be the loophole. Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
just like just thinking about like because it's funny because I was kind of like I said before, it was kind of going to be like Roxy goes back to normal, but now with the consequences with Toby,
Yeah.
how is like
I don't know if Roxy
I
will
don't
know how far did they race? What's the last?
They got 2
thing?
weeks, so she doesn't even know why they were there. She doesn't know like why
Doesn't
Toby
remember.
would even be. She doesn't remember anything in the past 2 weeks.
Right.
So you don't know why Toby would be like that, or that we erased her memories,
it's pretty much
or
from
we
what
were supposed to erase her memories.
Right.
Well,
from
that's
the
the thing.
moment she was asked to the moment she started researching.
Which
Oh,
is
then it's
a couple
way more
months.
than 2 weeks. Right?
It's a few months then. That'd be a few months.
Okay, sorry, because I thought her research.
So-
Sorry,
So would you have wanted to have raced the last few months then, instead of the last few weeks?
yeah, because she would still. It would have
She
to be
wouldn't
months
want
because
any-
she would still know
Right.
how to make it.
All right.
Because
So
she
you
did
would
the
just
research.
so you would have lost the last few months, which means
Oh,
Damn.
you didn't see my birth. You didn't see Levi. You didn't see.
I remember that, and
You
Yeah,
won't
but she
remember
would
a lot of stuff.
You don't remember
She-
proposing to Aika?
no, she does. She does. 'cause
no,
that
I would say
happened.
that happened after.
She
That
was-
happened,
I
she was
thought-
that happened before. Like
Oh,
she
I thought
proposed
that happened
before.
after he. Sorry, I'm not. trying to jump
She
over
proposed to him before she had you guys over. So that would have
Yeah, that's
happened
right.
after. So she would have remembered that.
Oh, I thought she said from when they knocked on the door to.
No, from
yeah.
when she started researching. So she knows.
Okay.
I'm sure she knows that this is what she did, but she feels less guilty about it because she doesn't remember it.
Yeah. Tritessa
Gotcha.
that time had a very high roll. So she was very very accurate with exactly what
Yeah.
you wanted obliviated. So you're fine. You're fine. You just forgot about the birth.
Poor
Yeah.
Tritessa.
Poor Tritessa.
I'm
I feel
curious.
horrible.
I'm
She
curious
says-
if Tritessa's gonna just like flip out and like reveal that Juan had her do this, or if she's gonna keep it a secret.
Somebody's gonna get punched in the gut.
It's not Juan's fault. I don't.
No, but Roxanne is also an asshole. So
It's Roxana's fault. She suggested everybody get obliviated, so it's your fault.
That's true.
remember, guys, washing the hands of the situation like it's
No,
your
I'm gonna defend Juan till I die because that wasn't his fault at all.
I don't know. I think it might be because he did
It's like a
pressure
butterfly
Toby.
effect from everyone.
Yeah, Because if Al would have
Everyone.
trusted Juan and Roxy enough to be like, look, I'm going to keep it, then Juan wouldn't have suggested to Tristessa to erase Toby's memory.
Yeah.
So it is
Yeah.
definitely a butterfly effect.
Yeah,
So it's
if-
Al's fault. You're right. It is Al's fault.
If Al had said something, if Roxana had never suggested, if Tristessa succeeded, if Juan had never asked that they
Yeah.
lie for him, like it's everyone's fault that Toby.
The only
is
one not
now-
at fault is me. I'm the only one here. That's
Yeah,
at
no.
fault.
You
It's
are
Hark's
like
fault. It's Hark's fault for rolling the crit fails.
It was my fault. It was my fault. I did it. Yes.
Yeah,
God
it's like
I
damn it.
wanted to protect Toby so badly, but no. Not even the dice gods allowed me to protect Toby.
That was
All right.
heartbreaking.
And
That was
now,
hard.
what else happened this session?
I feel like so much happened, but like this last like 15 minutes really ate up like a lot of my memory because I was really invested in.
I mean, we met a new NPC.
We met a new NPC.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Oh
that's-
yes.
I really, really enjoyed the Juan spy moments. I thought they were really fun, but like also like really like intriguing, and I love her.
She's
love
cool.
her.
I
What's
like
her
her a
name?
lot too.
Austera.
I like her-
Austera. Austera.
Austera. I like that.
She is a octopus animagus. Yes.
With a lot of the Austera Juan stuff, and even sometimes the campaign in general, like, am I the only one that has a really hard time figuring out each side's motives and like which side wants what? And like, I just get lost in it all. Is that just me or is everyone else?
I get pretty lost sometimes too. Like sometimes I think it's the traditionalist doing stuff, and then it was like no, there was these people. I was
I
like,
got
oh
really
wait, I was like,
lost
why
with
can't I
my
remember?
sister.
Funny
I
because
get
the side
so lost with my sister.
Dusk. Yes.
She's cool.
like-
I like.
Who are you? What?
yeah,
I
that was
can't
so
wait to see JoJo's reaction. I literally cannot wait.
So, Jojo was flirting with my sister. Is what I'm getting.
She played the agents pretty well. The agents pretty much. I think it was her slip that made the agents believe that she was on their side when actually she was just trying to gain their trust by slipping. So
They definitely hook, line, and sinker, and then they started the war. So I wonder if it was her. I don't know. Was it her idea to do this?
she did not. Her purpose, just because I don't think it's going to be revealed later, her purpose was to keep an eye on Orion and try to prevent as much as possible to prevent them from revealing magic to the communities. And it sounded
okay.
like they were moving closer and closer towards it. Now that they'd collected all this proof, they were going closer and closer toward it. So she needed like get rid of this proof. She didn't feel right about exterminating them or like killing them because she does have a side that's like sympathetic to them, at least to a few, not all. Like, so she's hired somebody to try to release them, and then, well, you know what happened in New Year's Eve anyway. So
Yeah.
because Jack Shipman failed, even though he succeeded the first time. But anyway,
That's interesting. I can't wait for the Orion cast to see that. I know they're gonna love it and hate it at the same
and
time.
hate it. Yeah.
I really
like-
liked the moment with Al and Chessa. Like I know it's a little biased on my part, but
I always love Chessa and Al moments. Yeah.
that was really nice in the garden, and like just the words they were saying were really nice. It's like this session, like really, because I feel like the last two sessions were kind of, especially the last one, like just all that death. It was very high pace, fast paced, and like sad. Where this one felt nicer, even though you guys killed a bunch of people. You guys are mass murderers. It's okay though.
We
was-
are. We totally are mass murderers.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
are mass murderers, but it's okay. But
And
the
I
scene
was
with
thinking,
Al
like-
and Chessa was nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
and the
Ah.
birth that I no longer remember.
The what?
The birth I no longer remember.
Yeah. The birth.
I wanted Al to deliver that baby so bad in the gardens. I was praying for it. Like even if like you
Last-
crit fail and accidentally killed me, I would have played I would have played
Last
Leia.
That happened. That stuff happened.
If Brandon, when he rolled his first athletics, if he would have rolled poorly, like what would have been the outcome of that? Would she have had childbirth issues?
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
Oh,
If he had crit
Oh.
failed, then Chessa could have died during childbirth.
Oh, that would have been awful. That would have been
Act 2 is
awful.
brutal.
Thank God.
Here
You
you go,
didn't
Al.
notice. Act 2 is brutal.
Oh man. Well, that didn't happen.
I'm just
so
glad you
thank
didn't make
God.
me roll a ride broom to get her to the hospital because she would have just fallen off the broom.
I love
I
that.
debated having Albion deliver right at the garden, but part of me kind of wanted the
Wanted
other
everyone.
PCs to be there, so that's
Yeah.
why I had it at the hospital instead.
Thank God, because last time I'll try to do anything medic.
He
Yeah.
accidentally
Well, I was
killed
gonna
his
say
best friend.
not that it mattered because Roxana forgets it anyway. It's not that it mattered.
Yeah, Rox doesn't even remember.
Sorry,
Remember
guys.
my
I
birth.
can't live with myself.
How often do you get to see the birth of a PC, like the literal birth of a PC, and you forget it?
Well, that's the thing. Oh, well, no. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks, but she's selfish.
So
And I
we
do
will
just
finally
unfortunately
meet
get rid of.
Brandon's PC in the next session.
Session 4 will be the last time that we're doing a lot of jumping around, because I did want to get to the 20-year time jump, and by that point, Luke and Leia will be 17, so he'll basically be the same age as Levi was.
When Levi
Conveniently.
started, yeah.
And then starting session 5, you're all gonna be in one place, and it's gonna be a continuous chronological experience from then until the finale, because like the last right. So the last part, yes. So the last part of Act 2 is just gonna be a normal. It'll feel like a normal campaign again. So
Sweet.
I'm excited.
So that
about
scene we
part.
talked about, we'll do it next time then, Hark? The
Yes.
scene you and I talked
Correct.
about? Okay.
Yes. That was something I think could wait till after the war.
Okay.
Yeah. The scene I had planned, the other one I had, canceled now. It's fucking canceled. Let me just.
Cancelled.
It's canceled.
Does anybody have any idea, like guesses what might be coming up? I'm sorry, I like theories. Anybody have any guesses what might be coming up?
Yeah, Toby's crazy.
I think what's gonna happen is I think the hoops are about to become very important again. I think
Oh yeah,
because
we saw Greyback. That is a loose end.
I think the hoops were like meant to distract us from the war, but then the war was meant to distract us from the hoops. I think the hoops are again going to become very important.
It's a double red herring.
Yeah, he got us twice with the same object.
Fooled me once,
Yeah, shame on you.
maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I also feel like they're going to become important again. And the thing is, like, here's what I'm wondering. I'm like, once everything's kind of like with what we theorize with what's going to happen to Toby, I wonder what do you think AJ and Clef are your characters' reactions going to be? Because Luke, I imagine,
Super guilty.
so he's like, I don't know, guys.
Guilty.
It's going to depend on what because my memory was wiped of like the situations kind of, so I don't know if it depends on what Tritessa says.
Yeah.
Like how she explains it, because like it wouldn't make sense to me that he's crazy. Juan knows why, but we don't.
Yeah. Because like, yeah, Roxana's gonna be like, what the heck happened? Why? How could he just wake up one day and be insane? And I imagine like eventually she'd work that shit out. So
I mean, won't Roxana kind of freak out by the fact that she forgot a lot of stuff because she doesn't remember that?
because like,
Because
do you forget people that cast Obliviate on you? Because I know Alex said that his dad did it, but does that mean
because his dad told him after the fact?
Oh yeah, so she's gonna wake up and be like, "What the fuck?"
It's going to be kind of like how Asa did it to Al. Like none of us even knew. It just happened.
Right.
And then just one time, Hark's like, oh, and this happened before and none of you knew. It's just like, oh, wait, what? That was crazy.
None of you knew.
She's like, would wake up thinking like, oh, I gotta start researching. Is like, that's how she'd wake up.
Only to find out it's been several months.
Ooh. Okay, maybe Roxana does not go back to normal. I don't really think she'd be like, why did I think that was a good idea?
yeah, you
feel like-
won't remember.
I feel like memory modification almost jumps into that realm of like time travel, where it's very tricky how you weave it into a story, and I feel like it kind of fits the same sort of arc.
Hmm.
It's
I just like that Levi was the Chewbacca of the group and didn't get a medal. It was his idea. I'm just saying.
Huh.
listen, bro.
No, no mention, no comments. It's fine. It's fine.
I mean, I don't know if Levi would be happy to have a medal for that kind of stuff, would he?
Levi just wants all the medals. Give him any medal.
Yeah, Roxana was like, I'm gonna rid myself of this shit. Eat. Throws that shit away. So yeah, I'm like, that was rough.
Yeah.
That was
If I
This-
had went with
this-
Finn, what would have been the outcome there?
If you had gone with Finn, I actually don't. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I was just gonna play it by ear. You would not have been involved. I don't think that would have stopped you from being involved with the killing curse, because you could always apparate away. But I think you being with Finn would have helped his survivability. Is all I guess I will say.
Gotcha.
So that his chances of dying would have lessened at that point.
Now,
I had a question, Hark. He wasn't mentioned at all in this episode, so it kind of scared me a bit. Chance, was he at the birth, or was he one of the people captured at that base? Because I know he was at one point helping Finn at that Bermuda Triangle base.
Yes,
right?
very good question. I did not. So I don't. I think that it would have made sense for Chance to have been invited in the birth. I just was focusing really on the families and
That's fine.
the few.
Okay, yeah, I was just making sure he wasn't captured because that's the first thing that went through my head.
I think I think Chance was one of the people who managed to escape and possibly would have joined Finn, because they kind of were helping that. I meant to have Finn try to contact Brandon Carr to like help him, but I think that by that point, realistically, like whatever contact he would have had with Brandon Carr isn't working anymore.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I thought that would have been really interesting if Finn was with Ostera and if Juan was with Ostera and Finn was like, "Hey, I need your help. We need to go save our friends." And how would Juan have like responded to that if he was contacted?
Oh God. I think he would have tried to help him, but only
Okay.
him, and take him out. Or
Okay.
I don't know, because he needs to respect the mission, but you get me. Ah, I'm so mad.
Rip Toby.
It's all right. But
Oh, sorry.
I was just like one of the last questions I had was, all right, so I'm pretty sure you're probably gonna explain it in the next episode, but I didn't feel like who won the war, like just the wizards
Yeah,
in general.
what's gonna
There
happen
was
with traditionalists?
because it just felt like the Muggles just gave up and didn't want to fight no more. So who won between the traditionalists and the progressive? Is that what we've been calling them?
Yeah. So
Okay.
One thing I will say is that the statute of secrecy is going to basically be absolved.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
the
guess
statute
that's
of
what's gonna
secrecy
happen.
will get absolved. But now the government officials need to decide, okay, now that Muggles know about this, what sort of regulations do we have now to protect both of our communities? So one of the things I'm doing from now until the next session is trying to give you guys a primer on what is the world like now, especially during the 20-year jump. What is life like now that everybody knows that magic exists, and what are the consequences of that, and how
That makes sense.
so I don't have the details for you yet, but I will by the next session, because that's going to be important as we start to jump through time.
I actually had a question, and I wanted to save this one for the end of the war,
Yes.
because I thought like asking too early I didn't know if I would get an answer because it might have been a spoiler, but if Roxana had never had that talk initially with Ayika saying like, hey, it's my way or the highway, like we're gonna stay neutral, otherwise like we can't be together. If she had never said that, would he have picked a side?
The honest answer is he would have probably picked a side, but he would have stayed physically by your side.
Yeah.
He would not have gone off. So I tend to, if you establish a romantic relationship with an NPC, normally your ideals start to blend with theirs and vice versa. So I had never intended for any of your romantic partners to be diametrically opposed to you.
Yeah.
So they're always meant to be a supportive asset for you, and even if they disagreed with you, they would agree to disagree. So that's why Finn, I always kept right close to Albion when he needed him. I kept Chessa close to Levi till the very end, and same thing with Ayika. Ayika, I could see possibly not completely agreeing with Roxana being completely hands off, but he wasn't going to abandon her physically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know if he meant it this way, and I don't think Roxana took it this way, but like I'm curious just because of the way he kind of not went off, but kind of rambled a little bit, saying like no matter how hard you tried, to be neutral and stay out of it, now it happened anyway. I wonder if that was low key kind of like a thing where he was like, this was gonna happen anyway. Maybe we shouldn't have stretched it out this long if like that's kind of the opinion he's having.
I remember giving that line, and in my mind space when I had him say it, it was more of him feeling bad for you.
Yeah.
And like trying to be empathic to you. He was sort of like, you were trying so hard to avoid this, and it all happened anyway. So it wasn't a stab at you. It was just like, I feel so bad that this ended up the way that you didn't want it to, like you didn't intend for it to end up.
Yeah. And like I'm actually curious, what if he could, what side would he have picked? I think he would have gone traditionalist, but I'm not sure.
I believe as well, because as someone who is into secrets, he believes in the power of secrets and how important a lot about Ayika is knowing what secrets should be kept and what secrets need to be revealed. Yeah. And for him, I think that the statute of secrecy is something that comfortably has been maintained for years. Breaking that now is like, suddenly taking the training wheels off of a bicycle on a tightrope. So, and that worries him slightly. So, yes, that's that. I think he would have leaned in that direction, but he would not have he would never get into a debate with you or never tell you that you're wrong, because that's just not the kind of person he is.
He's not very. He's a pretty, not really placid personality, but he's more of just like an observer, I think.
Yeah.
Or is a Roxana is a look the other way kind of person.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think shit.
That's what I think that what helps him draw information and figure out secrets is by being a little bit more passive and just observing.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's why him and Tritessa get along so much too, because Tritessa is really observant and notices a lot of things. So like,
but
I think
Tritessa, in contrast, is way more aggressive and active than Ayika.
Oh, absolutely. Which is funny because Ayika's a tourist. like they bring new meaning to bull in a china shop. And it's funny that he's actually a tourist, but
Taurus in that the big thing that Ayika gets from the Taurus symbol is stability. Taurus is very stable, and Ayika has remained pretty stable throughout.
And the thing is, like, I feel like, and this is another thing I read about it too, where it's like they are patient to a point, but when you when you cross that line, that's when it's bad. And we did see that once, like when Roxana got beaten, where he just mutilated these
Yeah.
guys.
Yep.
That's not words, he mutilated them.
Yep.
So like if he actually legit gets mad, it's quite scary.
What were you gonna say, Clef?
That this episode was too much for my little brain.
I'm interested to see the next episode because you guys are pretty much world-renowned
Yeah, we're like Harry
wizards
Potter
in a
now.
world where now Muggles know about you. You guys are gonna be the Muggles that you know, or the Muggles will think of you as the wizards that like killed a bunch of people. You guys pretty much invented the atomic bomb.
Instead of
Yeah.
the boy who lived, you're the wizards who killed.
Yeah. So I wonder what kind of stigma that's gonna bring. Like I'm sure, like in
I
the Wizarding
also-
world, people love you. In the Muggle world, they're gonna despise you.
Fear
I
or
also have
fear
a
you.
question.
Or fear is fear is a way better word.
And
Because-
I kind of sorry.
I don't know, like, if I was thinking about this when you said that 25 like birds died.
Died.
25 is a lot on one spell. When
Oh.
before it was one, and 25 is now a lot. But throwing 3 people that can kill 25 people with a whisper, it sounds like a lot. But when you put it in practice with the amount of people there are and the pew 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 pew, I guess it depends
Is-
on the range of the spell.
I
Or
feel
maybe
like it's
get
Was that
more-
maximum, or was that just how many birds were there?
Maybe that's my question. What's the
Is
maximum?
that like is 25 maximum, or is that just there was just 25 birds?
Depends. The effectiveness depends on how high of a roll you roll. So
Okay,
the
so
higher your roll,
you
the
can
more
get more.
people you can. If it's like a crit, like
yeah,
you
which
know, don't even. We're talking like
There?
like a
Atomic
building.
bomb level.
I wouldn't say that a crit is atomic bomb level. I wouldn't say
Okay.
that, but maybe
But-
like a building
yeah.
Like an
like-
entire building of.
of people. Like
That's a lot.
It's gone.
unfortunately, like September 11th level
Yeah.
of deaths. Unfortunately,
I
which
wanted to
is-
make that analogy, but it's sometimes it's
So
tough. to
did
be
I, but I
oh.
was like,
Yeah,
I'm the
I'm gonna be
only
like
one-
also like the size of a school, or
yeah.
I'm not American, so I was like, don't say that. Like basically,
Ark was there. He's allowed to say it.
I witnessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway,
and
I
like,
lived through it.
that's like unbelievable. But at the same time, because like looking, I don't know how your pluses are, but I know Roxana had a plus 20 in Curse because
Yeah.
she would kill a lot of people.
I mean,
Get a plus 20,
Juan
sorry.
has. Let me check. You know,
Plus
he has.
35. Like,
I think he has plus 22 or plus 20 because
Yeah.
I also said he's never gonna use curses, so he gets like a -2.
Yeah.
18,
Mine's a 14.
20, 22.
oh yeah, I forgot her wand. I always forget that.
I
And-
have a 21 on curses. Roxana is probably stronger than me.
I appreciate.
a 23. Right, actually, sorry.
I appreciate what Roxana said about how it felt to cast that spell and how she said it feels like a part of you dies with it. So take that as you will as you guys role play for the rest of the campaign, because I don't think even though you forget how to cast the spell, I'm sure the lasting effects of it still remains.
They were
That feeling, yeah, it's like that PTSD feeling. Like, wait a second, that spell was not good.
Right.
I like that too, yeah, because
Yeah.
we're playing a game, so like mechanically, it's the best spell in the game. We can literally
it's an
kill
insta kill.
everybody we want, but at the same time, it's like I like that that description of the feeling of it is not
Yeah.
good. Your character does not like it, you know,
Well,
unless
'cause
you're pure evil. I bet like Voldemort or Grindelwald would love it, but
here's the thing, and this kind of like goes a little bit. I can't remember if this is actually because I never read the books. I only watched the movies, and I know this is kind of more of a Horcrux
Normie.
thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when people are talking about that's the one thing about that particular spell above the other spells and above the other unforgivables is every time you cast it, a part of you becomes more numb to killing, which is why Death Eaters do it so much because they're so numb to it, and I think that's kind of
Yeah.
what Bartholomew was getting at with the allure of power.
Yes.
It's like, when you do it once, just to quote Batman here, it's like, you do it once, and you're gonna keep doing it.
We just saw it last night. Do you remember what your father said to you?
Yeah.
That sometimes, in order to protect those you love, you have to do things that are very uncomfortable for you.
I legit, after this vlog, I want to rewatch that conversation, because there's a few things, and I'm worried I'm missing a few things, but there's a few things he said, like when he said to Roxana, I hope you never feel the allure of power.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
But that ended up happening, because in Section 2, even though she's like getting on her high horse and saying like, I was scared, but you meant it and you knew what was going to happen.
So there was one of the things that was said in the chats during the premiere is they were mentioning how he doesn't care, which is the tragic thing. And I says, no, I don't think he doesn't care. I don't think that's it. I think he cares enough that he wants Roxana to hate him. And Roxana says, in honesty, I can't hate you. But he wants her to hate him. And part of the reason why he wants Roxana to hate him is because he recognizes how similar the two are. And I think part of him wants to hate him so that she doesn't turn into him.
Yeah.
But
and
right now what happened today, she's kind of, dipping her toes into the Bartholomew realm a little bit.
I mean, maybe she killed more. I'm pretty sure she killed more people than Bartholomew.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
And she got, the thing is, she got awarded and recognized for it, whereas Bartholomew did not.
Yeah, he got punished.
He got punished for it.
Here's the funny thing, right? And this is something that I think was not really subtle, but just a little thing. And like, I keep bringing this up, but I think it's just like really like an essential part of what she's becoming. It's like when she's justifying using that spell, Bartholomew also justified using that spell. They just had different reasons. And it's a carbon copy where she it's like the minute she chose to use it, she defends it, but when she's forced to, that's when it's a problem.
So when Luke asks Auntie Roxana, do you regret all the people that you killed, what would her response be? Just like
I don't remember that shit.
That's true, you don't remember, so you're fine. Wash your hands in the greatest way possible.
That's the thing. I can't tell you because I don't remember.
La 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 la.
I think the one that will be hit the worst will be Al. I can't imagine Al having the
burden,
the will to kill.
I was thinking about it, and the whole like allure to power, like I was like, yeah, but Al doesn't want power, but
so like
he does want to feel like the reason he wanted to retreat is because he felt like there was nothing he could do, and now that he has that like feeling of like I can help, that's still power. It's just power being used for good.
All of the like, it's a really like subtle thing where it's like, I don't want power just because you're not like Bartholomew Shabets or Voldemort. Or like even like Juan, where Juan wants the hoops and Juan actually legit craves power. I think with Albion and Levi and Roxy, it's a bit more subtle, where it's like Roxana reveled in the fact that she was popular. She reveled in the fact that she always had a solution to everything. And then when it got down to it, she used the quickest solution. She knew she could do it. She knew it was going to happen, and she still chose to do that. I think with Albion, it's like the fact that he's getting more confident. It's more so not the fact that he's craving power, it's that he's feeling more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the risk is. And then with Levi, it was the same thing, gaining that confidence to be like more than this facade that he put on. And that was where the risk was that. But yeah.
Would Levi have been able to kill like we?
Yeah, if he was still alive, it would have gone down.
If he was alive, I think he would have, because he was already in that mindset of in the war, like he's protecting people. If he felt like it was for the right cause, he was going to do it. Because like he was more than willing to shoot at the wizards who were attacking Chessa without like even hesitation. and like I said, he broke Brennan Carr's hand, just because he wanted answers. Like he was willing to push the line of being not a great guy if he felt it would help people
in the long run.
Yeah.
All right, we've been going at it for a while, guys. Is there any last minute things before we close? Okay.
I'm sad. Don't kill
Sad.
Toby.
I'm sad, guys. This episode was rough.
Toby's not
We
going to
did it.
die. That's the
We
sad. Hark brought it up, and that's the saddest part. The war was over. It was done.
Yeah,
He didn't
it was
need to
done.
do this. He didn't
It
need to
was
be
all
eliminated. And that's what ended him.
I promise you that besides whatever is going to happen to Toby, the rest of the next session will be very light and possibly happy. So
Fingers
Yeah, it's going to be a
crossed.
lot of life stuff. We're going to have
Yes.
hopefully weddings, babies.
Because yeah,
things
the
like
thing
that.
is,
Let's see what happens.
like I'm really interested because what I wrote down on my little survey, not my survey, but my little sheet, has happened in a bit of a different order to what I imagined.
Yeah.
So I'm like excited to see what you do with it.
yeah.
Like if it comes
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I have one more question. Sorry, I meant to ask the last. I'm so sorry. I meant to ask the last one. So, can you tell me, how does Hunter feel about Levi dying? Like, does he blame himself? Does he think it was his fault, or
Probably.
because
I'm sure that there is a part of Hunter that believes that Hunter should have done a better job of protecting his son. Because this was the second time that the killing curse was fired at you, and the first time he wasn't able to protect you, Joe protected you. And so this was the time where it was his turn to throw himself and protect you from it, and he failed. So yeah, I think the immediate response is, he definitely feels guilt, and I think that he wishes that there were things that he could have been more open to you about, and the fact that your life was cut short. I think after you guys had your talk with what happened with Hogwarts, your Hogwarts acceptance letter, I think he was hoping that you guys would have time now to rebuild your relationship, and it was just that extra time that he thought he had was tragically cut short. So
yeah,
Like, anyone noticed the thing that Joe said where he's like, when he's talking about Levi leaving the house, and he's like, he just didn't stay put. And then
Yeah.
like the way he died, he didn't stay put.
he didn't stay put. Yep, I did that on
Yeah.
purpose. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, which in a way I was like, oh my God, does Joe like kind of blame Hunter? I was like, I don't think he really does, but he was more like,
he might. That's the thing. There's a lot to it, and I just noticed that the past 2 episodes, Joe's been doing a lot of the talking, and Hunter's been there, just not saying anything. Hunter hasn't, even
Yeah.
at the little reception thing, Joe was talking and stuff. Hunter was
Yeah.
there, but nobody,
Yeah.
not saying anything to
and that's
nobody.
the
And
thing, like a child dying has a huge impact on a relationship.
Yeah.
Like I literally said this today, but like, look at what happened to John Bonet's parents. But they did that shit.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? Like it really ruins it ruins a relationship, and it
Yeah.
really can rip people apart if you're not strong enough. So
Yeah.
yeah, and when she told me that, I didn't believe it, but now I was like, wait, does Joe blame Hunter? Because there was never even a scene where they're together. Like, even at the reception, it wasn't like Joe and Hunter were together, like talking to people. They're separate, and
Yeah.
so I was like, oh no, are they like, is this gonna like cause like a problem between them? Like, does Joe blame Hunter? Hunter blames himself, and Hunter is like, well, that's what I was just wondering. But
Well, I will say that if you remember the conversation that Joe did have a conversation with Hunter in session 1 of Act 2 on the phone, and he was confiding
Yes.
in Hunter about how powerless he feels because
Yeah.
he's in a family of magical beings and he's just a muggle. And so I'm sure he felt useless. Not only was he not there for Levi during that particular scene, he was one of the people who needed rescuing.
yeah,
in that
he needed
scene.
help as well. Yeah, so he
He-
probably blames himself as well. Like, there's a lot.
Yeah, and so it was not a very good situation for Levi, because even if he chose to save the Ferris wheel instead of, helping out Chessa, like it was a lose-lose situation. I did not expect Levi to die, but he
Yeah.
did. So
Dang.
okay.